Hello, the doc is in, and welcome back to another chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen, chapter 191. In the last chapter, we have the fight between Hikari and Kashimo concluding. Hikari sacrifices his arm, but catches the W against Kashimo. But he doesn't kill him. He decides, you know what, Kashimo, you're joining my team, you're becoming my Nakama, and said the same thing to Charles. So they're all going to work together. And Hikari meets up with, I believe, Momo from the Kyoto school. And they basically discuss like the plans, what rules we're trying to implement or whatever. And during the discussion, we switch over to Maki and Noritoshi Kamo. Noritoshi Kamo as in from the Kyoto school, not Noritoshi Kamo as in Kenjaku / worst sorcerer in history, blah, 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 blah. And we see Maki's wilding out. Noritoshi just looks different. Looks pretty cool now, kind of guy, Hawkeye, Green Arrow kind of look going on, but I kind of like it. You have some weird looking worm curse showing up at the very end of the chapter, and I wouldn't say that's necessarily where we leave off, because the chapter starts off with something a little different, but let's just hop into the chapter. So, chapter starts off, we have what we're going to learn is Kamo running into the Kamo clan main estate, as pointed out in the chapter. But we start off looking at this old guy, right? He's running around, he's like looking for somebody. He's like, he calls this guy Shino, I assume that's his name, some really old looking guy. And he's basically like, hey, I want to get in contact with Principal Gakuganji and speak to the Gojo and Zenin clans, right? And you have the old guy who is weirdly shaded. I mean, he looks hecka creepy. Personally, if you're saying I was a cursed sorcerer, if I was a Jujutsu sorcerer and I saw this guy walking around, I might assume he's a curse and blow him up. But that's neither here nor there, right? And so when Kamo's saying all this stuff to him, he's like, hey, I need all this stuff done now. We got him saying kid. And he's like, how'd you get in here? And Kamo's there, he's like, what are you talking about? Because mind you, previous to the last chapter, Kamo was the heir to be the clan head of the Kamo clan, right? So for this guy to ask him, like, why are you here? It's kind of like, you mean, why am I here? I'm supposed to be here. Talk about. And so we have him basically, we have the old man kind of being like, well, you know, referencing somebody who is working and or a member of the Kamo clan. He's basically like, defense barrier is not really good. And we have Kamo basically being like, I don't know what you're talking about, old guy, but I'm supposed to be the head. I'm the head of the Kamo clan. I don't know who you're talking to, but I need you to get right. And you have this old guy basically being like, you, clan head, I may be old, but I never forget the face of the clan head. You are not Noritoshi-sama. And Kamo's like, what are you talking about? That's literally my name. And then we get a swift of what I assume in some type of cursed mechanism. They swift around the rooms, and we have Kenjaku showing up. And he's chilling on a bed, and he's vibing, and he's basically like, yeah, I'm Noritoshi Kamo. Sorry. And Kamo's like, ghetto. And he's like, no. You should know what's going on, right? After Shibuya, you should be aware of all the current events, all right? Catch up on the manga, all right? I am Kenjaku and Noritoshi Kamo and Suguru Geto. I am also the clan head now. And I also control the conservative faction, the higher-ups of Jujutsu Society. And I am also the one who set up Gojo to be imprisoned in the prison realm and had him have his execution order put out. I am in control. This is Geto's Aizen moment. All right, he said, I planned all of this. Everything that's going on, that's me. That was me. And Kenjaku also credits Kamo. He's kind of like, you know, you're a pretty smart kid, you know. You knowing that it would be knowing after the situation that happened in chapter 137 where we find out like all the big changes that were made about how Gojo's deemed like a accomplice in the whole situation that happened in Shibuya and everything. And so he's like, with Kamo what he was planning to do and try to get everybody together and specifically talk to Principal Gakuganji and all the other clans and whatnot, he was trying to make it so that then they would reverse the act of making Gojo an accomplice and therefore make it not illegal to unseal Gojo, ergo allowing Gojo to very easily fix the situation. Because, you know, Gojo is like Sukuna in the sense that if Sukuna comes out, that's a huge change in the world. That's it. Sukuna's here. That is the change. Update to the world. Patch 10.0. Sukuna's been released. 11.0, Gojo's been released. Not to say that one of them's better, but just say, you know, with each one of these people showing up, it's like, this is a big update. With that being said, though, Kenjaku basically says, like, well, it is impressive that you were able to think that far ahead and see, like, you know, the bigger picture of all this. I'm already in control. It was too late. There was nothing you could ever do. And so we have this section right here. I'll read it out verbatim and I'll give my comment on it. So Kamo says, so you purposely let the orders from the Jujutsu headquarters slide and took out everyone who pushed for Geto Suguru's execution. Then Kenjaku says, I also took out those who named Okotsu as Itadori Yuji's executioner. I'm not quite sure what they meant based on the wording, because like he says, I took out those who named Okotsu Itadori Yuji's executioner, and Kamo saying that he took out everyone who pushed for his Geto Suguru's execution. I think what they mean is that Kenjaku he pushed for these people to do these things. So he's not saying take out as in killed them. Take out maybe is a mistranslation. It just means, oh, Suguru Geto, I pushed for Suguru Geto to get executed. I pushed for Okotsu to try to kill Itadori. And I think there may have been like a setup where maybe Kamo kind of assumed like maybe Okotsu trying to kill Itadori may get him get Okotsu killed because of Sukuna, and you know that's his vessel, etc., maybe something like that. But definitely having Geto killed was on purpose, because if Geto was killed, well, by Geto being killed or at least very weakened, he could then take his body and do everything he's doing currently. But just to move on from that point, that's my theory on what that means, but we'll kind of see in the officials as they come out later on. But moving on from that, we have Geto, Kenjaku, whatever. He specifies like, hey, I am the head of the Kamo clan now, all right? And I'm the head of the conservative faction now. So basically, I'm in charge of the higher-ups, and I control the whole clan. And the Zenin clan, as you know at this point at least, not this time, this is prior to, let's say, before Maki and Narutoshi meet in the calling game, this is what happens. This is probably like a little bit after the whole announcement after Shibuya happens. And so, as we know now, Maki murdered everybody in the Zenin clan. So there's only 2 clans now, and Narutoshi is the head of one of them, and the higher-ups. So, yeah, he's in charge. And so, after Kenjaku points this out, he's like, we'll never meet again. All right, you leave this place, we'll never meet again. And so, Kamo's like, dang, I guess I gotta have to scrap now. And you have Kenjaku be like, what? Because, you know, Kamo's abilities, he has the blood manipulation, so he activates like his blood doping. He's like, all right, let's throw hands. And Kenjaku was like, whoa, bucko, we ain't fighting, all right? I just meant you're gonna leave the state, and I'm not gonna make eye contact with you again. And he's like, oh, so you're not gonna kill me? He's like, well, even if we fought and you lived, it really wouldn't matter, so get out. And that's what happens. Kamo just leaves defeated. I'm like, dang. Personally, if that was me, I would never take that kind of disrespect. I'd have to throw the hands for that one, but neither here nor there. We return back to Narutoshi, well, Kamo and Maki being in the calling game. They see the cursed spirit kind of come out, the weird worm looking thing, and they're kind of looking at it, and you have Maki making a statement like, you know, if that's that has to be a cursed spirit, because if that's supposed to be a person, then that would make Panda equivalent to a person in the same way. And the idea behind this is that they're kind of getting a weird vibe from it. Like, you're like, no, that's a cursed spirit, but they also feel like it's kind of giving off human. I guess to say that the cursed energy produced, or like the radiated cursed energy between a person and a cursed spirit, are very distinct, and the cursed energy output signature they're getting from this worm thing is similar to a person, but it's like so obviously visual that they're not a person, that's kind of like they don't know how to like register it. Like Kamo's kind of feeling in between about it at the moment. And so we have the worm thing kind of floating in the air, and kind of starts laughing, kind of. It says ma, 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 and it just shoots down super fast. And we have Kamo being like, it's heading over here, it's moving fast, right? And they're kind of prepping for it, like it's coming. And then we get this sign of the like a street, like a train area. We see clear, the whip. Then just everything in the area getting, like, when you run so fast, like the wind pressure like destroys everything behind you. That whole street destroyed. And blitzes Maki. I mean, he completely ignores Kamo. He doesn't even get to react. He's still staring straight when Maki gets hit by this thing. And it tears through the area. Like, it runs her through a bunch of buildings and into the forest, into a bunch of rock. And yeah, that's kind of wild. And we have Maki blocking it, right? She blocks it a little bit with her arms. And she's like, anyway, so I tried to swing on him. And despite its size, I mean, it's pretty big. It's got to be like a couple in length at least. It's a couple Makis long, right? And she goes for the punch on its head after it's like hit her into this rock, and it dodges her punch, blitzes from the side, and hits her, and hits into another set of rock. And she's like, beyond so fast, but beyond this sensation, and she's kind of referencing the fact that it feels similar to something, but we won't touch on that just yet. The worm thing continues to attack Maki as she's kind of dodging, kind of like trying to keep up with it. But it's weird. It's not like a person or anything. It's like got a long body, so it's kind of like it throws a punch at her and she dodges that, but then it hits her with its body. And then out of the weird hole things on its like head, whatever, it starts producing weird guts looking stuff. And you see like a mouth, right? And then we have a whole head come out, and we have it saying, "Hello, Maki-chan." I'm like, is that Naoya? And we have Maki confirming. She's like, Naoya. And he says, I've also come to this side. And we have the narrator or a little subtext saying, Naoya is transformed into a cursed spirit. End of chapter 191. And a break next week. I didn't read that ahead of time. Oh my god, why did the guy be a break? But yes, that is the end of the chapter. Naoya is a cursed spirit. I mean, there's a lot to discuss in this chapter. First things first, regarding Naoya becoming a cursed spirit, it may seem weird because I don't think we've ever seen like a person actually turn into like an actual cursed spirit. But the way it's been explained is that you kill curses. Well, you kill cursed users / Jujutsu sorcerers with cursed energy, because when you kill a cursed user in general, Jujutsu sorcerer or not, with a non-cursed energy based attack. So if you specifically in this situation use a kitchen knife with no cursed energy to kill a cursed user, then they are going to turn into a cursed spirit. As we know, in Naoya's position, what happened was that Maki's mother, in her last moments after Maki slit her throat, was to use a kitchen knife to stab Naoya in the back when he had no cursed energy left and kill him. And so since that time, it has been heavily theorized that, okay, Naoya's going to come back as a cursed spirit at some point. And here he is. He's come back as a cursed spirit at this point. And hey, that's interesting. I'm not sure what's going to go on with this. I don't know if because now that she knows that's Naoya and everything, she might be able to like beat him pretty easily. And it's going to be a 2v1. But, I mean, who knows? We really don't know what's going to go on here. But presumably, like everybody else, Maki and Kamo are going to wipe the floor with Naoya. Now, whether he will join the team, I don't know. Everybody else has gotten at least one recruit or something equivalent, like some type of ally out of their fights. So I don't know if someone else is going to show up and kind of link up with Kamo and Maki and be like, yeah, I'm going to join up with you guys and beat Naoya. But for now, we don't know. But definitely the fights, Maki, Kamo, v Naoya. In regards to the first part of the chapter and all the reveals there, I mean, that's a reveal. So Kenjaku is in charge of the Kamo clan, and he's in charge of the conservatives. In other words, the higher ups. He's the one who has Gojo being sent for execution, which, if you think about it in the bigger picture, even though the conservatives are douchebags and kind of terrible people, they are, for the defeat of cursed spirits. So it kind of wouldn't make sense for them to have Gojo become an enemy now, just because not defeating the curses in this instance, or at least stopping Kenjaku just as a whole, is basically an extinction level event. So to not want to work with Gojo in the direction of just being killed, possibly, if you guys fail, when having Gojo would pretty much promise you guys win, it's like, okay, that don't really make sense. So considering that Kenjaku's behind it, it's kind of like, all right, that gives it more credence, where he probably was convincing them, kind of pushing for it heavier, so that then people who were maybe thinking about it beforehand were now yeah, we shouldn't bring Gojo back, send that man to hell. And so yeah, that's how that goes. Kamo clan scorched earth, I guess. Noritoshi gonna have his Maki moment and kill the whole clan, I guess. And we still haven't met the Gojo clan really at all. So maybe we'll see them sooner than later, perhaps. I mean, I don't know. It's a possibility. And that's pretty much it for the chapter. If you like the video, leave a like. If you dislike the video, leave a dislike. Comment your thoughts on Naoya becoming a cursed spirit. Is that an asshole? I personally don't think so, but I mean, hey, if you feel so, let me know. What do you think of Kenjaku taking over the Kamo clan and therefore basically being in charge of everybody behind the scenes, leaving our team here to be basically the only people capable of stopping his plans? What do you think of that? And if you want to see more content like this each week when a chapter drops, I guess not next week, but the week after that, feel free to subscribe, ring the noti bell or whatever. I would appreciate it. And with that all being said, the doc is out. Peace.